my channel. How are you guys doing? So I apologize for being MIA for a little bit because something personal happened in my life and it was not the greatest situation, but it's okay because everything is okay now and I'm back at my DIY video making game. And also I got sunburned, so just in case you guys are asking like why I'm a partial tomato, that's why. So now that it is officially summer, I think we need to bring some beach decor into the picture. Enough said. So I don't blab too much, before we get started with this video, make sure to keep up with me outside of YouTube on my social media. It's going to be right here, as it always is, and if you want to keep up with me on a daily basis, Snapchat is like the best way to keep up with me, so you guys should go follow that too. And if you're new here, make sure to click that subscribe button below to become a part of the Mandarin fam, and without further ado, let's just jump right into these beach decor DIYs. The first DIY is how to make these very colorful swirled seashell soaps perfect for summer. So to begin this DIY, you're going to need amazing mold putty and some seashells if you have them lying around. Otherwise, you can get them at the craft store. So first, taking your amazing mold putty, you want to take equal parts of each putty and mix them together until you get a light yellow color and it's evenly distributed. Then taking your seashells, press them into your putty and wrap the putty around the seashell as much as you can, but make sure you leave an opening at the top so you can remove the seashell later on. After you make your molds with your seashells, you're going to let them cure for 20 minutes. You'll know when your mold is ready when the putty is pretty firm for the most part. So go ahead and remove your seashells from the putty and you should have your very own official seashell molds. Now you can obviously go buy your own molds. You don't have to make your own. This was just another way of making seashell molds. Next, taking a clear glycerin soap, you can find this at any craft store. I'm taking about 6 cubes and melting it down in the microwave, and the way I do this is I melt it down in 20-second intervals. After you have melted your soap, add your essential oil of choice. I used lemon because it's one of my absolute favorites. Then pouring the soap into each mold. Working quickly, take some food dye and add 1 drop. Then with a Q-tip, you're going to swirl the color very carefully in the soap to make any design that you would like to. Repeat this with the rest of the soaps. Again, you want to work quickly because glycerin soap sets so fast, especially with smaller molds. Now, also I'm using these seashell molds that I got from the craft store just to show other options. So now chill your soaps until they are completely solid, and that is it for these seashell soaps. All you gotta do is remove them from the molds and they are ready to use. Now with the amazing mold putty molds, they can be a little tricky to remove, so definitely be patient. Now here's a quick demo of how they work. They suds up really nicely, and from the essential oils they smell awesome. So these are going to be a great addition to your really bathroom decor for the most part. So the next decor idea are these cute little seashell candles. These are perfect for any beach decor. So all you're going to need is some flat seashells and some candle wicks. I'm just using what I had left over from previous projects, cutting them down to about an inch, inch and a half. You really don't need that long. And using a permanent glue, I highly suggest using hot glue because it is the easiest and it dries the fastest. I made the mistake of using Gorilla Glue. It took forever to dry, but it ended up working okay in the end. So next, taking some white candle wax, which you can also find in the craft store. I'm cutting only a tiny bit because you only need a little for these candles. Putting them in a glass measuring cup and using a double boiler method to melt the wax. After the wax has completely melted, you want to make sure you add your essential oils. I totally forgot to show this step. Then pour your wax into your little seashells. So definitely be careful with seashells that have holes in them because that happened to me and it went all over the place, but it's okay because you can melt more wax and pour it into your seashells after the first layer has dried. And this is the end result of these candles. They are so pretty and add a really great beachy vibe to any room. The third decor idea I have for you guys is this little aquarium in a jar. I'm obsessed with this. It's so flippin' adorable. So all you need is a mason jar with a wider mouth. It's definitely easier to use one with a wider mouth. And my jar luckily was blue, so it totally worked out. So first add some aquarium rocks to the bottom of your jar. Add a small little plant, which you could find at any pet store, and they're not too expensive either. Then taking some seashells and placing them in the jar on top of the rocks and against the little plant, adding the lid, and that is it, guys. So easy. If you guys don't have a blue mason jar, you can just add water and put a drop of blue food coloring, but if you have a blue jar, ultimate win right there. And the last decor idea I cannot take full credit for. This is originally created by the amazing Nifty. I had to recreate this beach terrarium. It is so awesome. So all you're going to need is a shallow vase, and I already poured some sand into my vase. Next, taking a scrap piece of scrapbook paper, I'm taking some hot glue and drawing random wavy lines on there. You're gonna need a lot of hot glue for this part, so definitely be prepared with some extra hot glue gun sticks. After you have put as much hot glue as you want onto your piece of scrap paper, let it dry completely, and then you're going to take some blue nail polishes within the same color family, and you're going to make a gradient of blue to make it look like the waves of the ocean. You might need a picture for reference, but basically you're making a blue ombre with your nail polish. And on the edges, at the very front of the waves, you're going to use a white nail polish to make it look like sea foam. You can also add it further back to make it look like waves are curling inwards. After your nail polish has completely dried and you're done with all your colors, you're going to remove the paper from the bottom, and if there's any extra around the edges, you're going to take a pair of scissors and carefully cut the pieces of paper off. Now that all the paper is removed, it is time to decorate this terrarium. So I am adding my ocean waves into the vase. You probably are going to need to trim off some excess so that your waves will fit perfectly inside of the vase. Now, to really make this terrarium look like a beach, I took some rocks from outside, and I really liked this rock because it had some like green on it, so it almost looked like seaweed had stained the rocks. And I took a couple more rocks, and if you want to fill any spaces or gaps so you don't see the sand, you can take some gravel from the streets. I know that sounds pretty desperate, but it looks so good. Now, I found that I got a lot of sand and little pebbles inside of my waves, so the easiest way to remove that is with a paintbrush. And now for the final touches, we are going to add some little beach towels like people were there. Cut out very small rectangles from a scrap piece of paper and place them onto the sand. Now I'm adding some extra greenery. And to make it look like people were on the beach and were walking in the sand, I just took some tweezers and pressed them into the sand to look like footprints. And that is it for this beach terrarium. I am obsessed. Thank you, Nifty, for this awesome idea. I had to share it with you guys because it was so awesome and makes a really great beachy decor piece. So that was it for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. It would mean so much to me. And as always, guys, I love you so incredibly much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!